Outlet pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to split the defense and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. You score! What a goal! It doesn't get any better than this.
As he plays to the point, instead, he works his way back free. Granlund fires, score!
Hello and welcome to the Puck Drops Here podcast. I'm your host, John Crawford, along with my brother Howie here.
Greetings.
For episode number three of season 4. Howie, how you been this week?
It's been a long week.
I have been on vacation this week. This is my last real full day of vacation. It pretty much
Once
rained
again,
all week.
Same as last week, my ex-wife is now calling into the show. Should we bring her on?
Well, why does she always call right during the show?
I don't know.
What is it? Maybe we should just have her on the show. What do you want?
She could talk about Russian hockey. Maybe she has some KHL news.
No, maybe that's what she's calling in for, KHL News. Maybe we should have her on for that. See how much she knows.
She doesn't follow that.
That's okay. We'll just ask her what she knows.
Well, she knows about, she knows some, because she knows Tretiak.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she can help make her picks. We can have her do picks.
She doesn't follow anything, though. That's
fine. All she has to do is pick. Okay. So, yeah, hockey news, Howie. Do you have anything?
For what's that?
Hockey news.
Hockey news, I have just 2 items. One is Las Vegas pushed back their date to unveil their team colors, team logo, and team name back to November.
That's right.
Apparently it's something to do with the jersey design or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're pushing it back until that is completed. And the other news, which was sad news, out of here in Minnesota, is that the founder of the Minnesota North Stars passed away, Walter Bush.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is big.
So that made news up this way.
Wow. Yeah, the Vegas thing. I heard that they still hadn't really decided on the team name yet. That the Knights would be in the name.
Yeah, Knights will be in the name, but as far as in front of it, I don't know. I think it possibly could be red, because I know red will be part of the team colors.
Well, the 3 names that I've seen out there are the Silver Knights, the Desert Knights, or the Golden Knights. Those are the 3 that I've seen.
What was the middle one?
The Desert Knights.
Oh, now, the only ones I've heard are Desert Knights and Red Knights.
Okay. I don't know what they're going to be.
But I guess I read an article a couple weeks back. I guess he had filed papers for other team names, but a lot of those were just to throw people off.
All right. Who knows?
So,
excuse me. The other thing out there, World Cup of Hockey has been going on, Howie. I have enjoyed this tournament, although I've been really disappointed with the way USA played. Man, they were terrible. They were terrible.
I haven't seen any of that.
Well, yeah. Now North America, although they didn't make it into the semis, because they had that one tie game, they had that overtime game. So Russia beat them out because they had a regulation time win. But
okay.
Man, it's really been good. And so now we have the semis starting tonight with Canada versus Russia. And
I know Europe's still in it.
yeah, Europe plays Sweden tomorrow. So, and both Canada and Sweden have both been undefeated, so far.
Okay, so that goes down to Europe, Sweden, Canada, and Russia.
Yeah. But it's been really good. And then I thought, as I was watching some hockey yesterday, that this tournament would really be a nice way to replace the All-Star game, because it's an All-Star tournament.
True.
So why not have their All-Star skills weekend?
Is this, well, in a way you can't, only because a lot of the teams they're not, especially the European teams, they're not all NHL players.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it would be kind of cool to have it replace the All-Star game and have the tournament at the end of the season. That way, you don't have it right at the beginning of the season, which is kind of nice to have. But then you don't have injuries and stuff going in.
Right, that's what I was going to say. They should move it to the end of the season anyway for that reason.
Right.
Because I know, I guess Dallas is getting beat up.
Yeah.
In this tournament right now. Players from Dallas are getting injured left and right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I guess you're right that I guess it would have to be a different type of tournament that would include just have all NHL players in it. But or maybe just a different type of tournament other than the World Cup of Hockey. Maybe it needs to be something else. I don't know. I was just.
But I'm excited for the Celebrity All-Star.
I know. Now you just look forward to the All-Star game because
who are they going to have for celebrity coaches?
Oh, man.
I want to see Mel from Alice be on.
There you go.
Oh wait, no, he's dead. Maybe they get Flo then from Alice.
Flo.
Kiss my grits.
I think it should be Cousin Oliver from the
yeah, Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch. Donnie Most.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of crappy B-list
Oh man.
actors.
Or Tattoo from Fantasy Island.
He's dead too.
Oh.
He's dead too.
Oh, is he? Oh. Darn. That'd be great. All right. So today, Howie, we are going to do the Central Division. And this one was really hard to do. Probably the hardest one. And it was last year, too. We had the same... I ran into the same issue last year.
But I think this was going to be harder than it was last year.
I think so, too. So, with that... What, do you want to go first this time? Or?
I can go first. I basically have everybody tied, and it's going to come down to goals and goals against.
Well, you might be right. Except for my number 7 pick. I think number 7 will be number 7.
I think it's going to be that tight, especially 1 through 5. I mean, and I know, I'm sure there's going to be people out there thinking, oh, I'm crazy with my picks.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand that there's only going to be between first place and, say, 5th place, you're only going to be looking at maybe a 5 or 6 point difference.
Yeah.
It's
I
going to
agree
be,
with
to
that.
me, it's going to be that tight.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that.
And like last year, it's going to come down to that last week to find out where everyone falls.
Yep.
But I figure 6 and 7, though, I think are going to be solid picks. They're going to be locked in those spots, and it's 1 through 5 that are going to be constantly bouncing around during the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
But my number 7, I have primarily because of the abrupt coaching change that went on there.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I guess you could say, unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're just still kind of in a rebuilding mode, but I have Colorado at number 7.
All right. All right, I have... this team has been trending downwards for the last few years. Same thing you have. Because of the coaching changes, they did make a few personnel changes, but I don't think enough to compete in this division anyway, because it's so tight. I don't think they did enough to stay in the group, and I think they will be number 7, and a solid number 7 is Colorado. Now this is when it gets tough for me. I had made several different, or ran through these teams so much over the last week, and made several different lists, and had to really dwindle it down, and that's how tight I think this division will be. But my number 6 pick is, hang on, let me get my notes for these guys. All unorganized. Oh, here they are. They really hadn't done a whole lot in the offseason. They did add Sean Matthews and Quentin Howden. And they didn't really get rid of anybody, really. They got rid of... who did they get rid of? I don't know if they got rid of anybody. But they really weren't that great last year. They only had 78 points last year. I chose for number 6 the Winnipeg Jets.
My number 6 is the same, actually. I think Winnipeg they're a good, solid team, but I just don't think they're at that level yet to compete with the rest of the division.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have Winnipeg at number 6 as well.
Well, I don't think we're going to have anything the same from here on out.
No, from here on out, it's going to be completely different. My number 5, I have again. They made some changes. One major change during the off season. And I think a lot of this is gonna rely on the healthiness of their goaltender. I have Nashville at number 5. I think they rely too much, on Pekka Rinne. If he goes down, they really don't have a solid backup.
It's not a bad pick. But that's not who I have. There she is again. Is she sending her pick in?
No. Yeah, she has Locomotive winning the KHL Cup this
there
year.
you go. All right, my number 5 team, which could easily be number 1.
As my number
this,
5.
This is so tight. They did make some changes. They picked up an older forward this offseason. They did get a new coach. And they picked up a goaltender, Stalock, who I think might fit well in this. Although they still have Kemper and Dubnyk.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. Because Kemper is a good, solid backup, as is Stalock is. I don't know if they're going to do a three goalie rotation or if it's going to be a battle. Because I think Dubnyk's got the starting job.
Yeah,
that's without any questions.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to be a battle of who's going to be backup.
Yeah, I think these guys are. I think they're going to be good. But
I kind of hope the Stalock move pushes Kemper a little bit more.
And it might, and might be the reason why they picked him up. I don't know.
Because I really like Kemper.
All right. They also picked up Chris Stewart.
Yeah.
Which
and they also picked up Stahl.
Yeah, the older. That's what I meant when I said the older forward.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that he was supposed to replace Vanek, right, when he left.
Yeah. Yeah, they bought out Vanek.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good, and it's all. It was pretty much a roll of the dice on where I had them fall.
Yeah.
And this is where I had them fall. They are my number 5 pick. Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah.
For those who didn't know what we were talking about. All right. And
I forgot to mention on Nashville, their big pickup was PK Subban.
That's right. Which, I think that'll boost them. And you'll see where.
I think it's all going to come down on Rinne on that one. If he stays healthy or not.
My number 4 pick. I guess it's my turn. My number 4 pick. They pretty much have not made too many changes. They did add a Jordan Tutu to the lineup. But they did get rid of a lot. But I don't think they got rid of any of their key players that's going to keep them in the game.
Right.
I chose as my number 4 the Chicago Blackhawks.
Ooh. See, that's like one of those picks where they'd be like, "What? No way."
Mm-hmm. But they could easily be number 1.
Yeah, they could very well be very easily number 1.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to come down to that last day.
I think it may be, but it could be, down to will Corey Crawford stay healthy?
Right.
It could be little things like that make the difference on where they're going to fall.
No. My number 4 is they are the team I was riding them last year through the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I figured it was going to be their year, but once again they did what the St. Louis Blues do. Come playoff time and bow out and choke. And I have my number 4, the St. Louis Blues. I think what's going to hurt them this year, though, is their loss of Elliott.
And Backus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Steve
they
Ott.
still
They got rid of Steve Ott, too.
They still have a solid goaltending tandem, but I just don't think it's going to be as strong as it was with Elliott and Allen.
Who do they have now? Hutton. Allen and Hutton and
he came over from Nashville.
Right. So you have St. Louis.
I have St. Louis at 4.
Okay. My number, it's your turn for number 3.
Oh, number 3. Number 3, I have I have Minnesota at number 3.
Interesting.
But like I said, they could be a number 1. I think it's going to come down to that last day and see where they fall. And I just think they're going to, some I don't know. I just 3.
My number 3 is your number 4. I chose St. Louis as number 3. They can easily be 1 or 6. I just don't know where they're going to fall.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to goaltending for them.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2. Let me pull them up here. They added a big defenseman with PK Subban. I think it will come down to goaltending for them with Rene. But they kept pretty much the core of this team. They're pretty solid.
Yeah.
So I chose them at number 2, the Nashville Predators.
My number 2, I have. They're deep as far as players go, but I think I don't know. I think they're overrated at the same time. I have Chicago at number 2. Which means we both have the same number 1.
That's right. Again, didn't we have it every one, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, because we have Tampa Bay, Washington, and now Dallas.
Washington, and now Dallas.
Dallas, which will be interesting now since a lot of their players got hurt during the World Cup.
Well, that's right.
But
that's right. But
with that, though, it could just make it that much tighter.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but look at their goaltenders they have. They're pretty deep with goaltending.
Yeah.
And they're just a deep team. I mean, they got Jamie Benn. Well, I don't know who they. It's going to come down to how healthy they are, on where they fall.
Yeah.
If they're a healthy team, and they get hot, they're going to win this thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's our picks for the Central. Howie has from 7 to 1 Colorado, Winnipeg, Nashville, St. Louis, Minnesota, Chicago, and Dallas winning the division. It could be, Howie, that you have 2 wildcard teams in this division.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I may just surprise you.
Okay. We'll see. 2 weeks. I have from 7 to 1 Colorado, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville, and Dallas winning the division. So next week we have the Pacific. And those of you that want to make your picks for the Central, we will put that out on the website to pick your winner for the Central. And we thank those that have already picked theirs for the Atlantic and the Metropolitan. So I guess that's it, Howie, for this week. Do you have anything else to add before we close out?
No, I'm good.
All right. Oh, one other thing is that tomorrow, technically, the preseason starts.
Yep. Minnesota has their first game on Monday.
Yeah, that's when a lot of the games are on Monday.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, it's just a what do they call it?
Minnesota held their first practice, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, a split squad game, I guess, between Columbus and St. Louis. Tomorrow there's a 1 p.m. game and a 7 p.m. game. And then on Monday, there's a ton of games. In fact, I'll get to at least see 2 of them. One is on NHL Network, which will be Columbus and Boston. And the other one is on Comcast Sportsnet, which will be Washington and Carolina. And then Kings play Arizona. I think that's one of those split squad games. So I don't know if that'll be on the radio or not. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, thank you all for listening and watching our podcast. You can go to our website at www.puckdropshere.com, and we've got all kinds of stuff going on there. If you go over to our podcast page, you can view or listen to our past podcasts from this season. All our past seasons are gone, but you could still catch those on YouTube and on iTunes. I think a lot of them are still on there. Just on our website, they're cleaned off of there. So. as far as the YouTube goes. But you can still catch up with it. You just go to YouTube and look us up. You can email us at email us at Jon and Howie at thepuckdropshere.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and all that fun stuff.
What is Pinterest?
You post photographs and stuff like that on there. Oh, it doesn't even know what we're on anymore.
That one I don't.
Yeah. Also, we're on hockeytalkradio.us. It's a 24-hour, 24/7, 360, whatever it is a year. Hockey programs all the time, and we are on late nights. And there's some great hockey programs during the day to improve your hockey game. So check those out. And we will catch you next week with our picks for the Pacific Division. And we'll see you then. We bid you all adieu.
Farewell.